Well, welcome to our live audience, everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Amazon Live, and of course, our podcast listeners. We appreciate you and your service. This is a Veterans Radio show, and without you, we would not be able to bring you this segment. I am Dali Rivera, your host. So hit that subscribe button right now, and please share this episode with another veteran, and let's hear your thoughts in the comments during the show. We love seeing your questions and comments coming in while we're live. So please don't hold back. Go ahead and post away. We have two really wonderful guests today. We have Gary Roman and we have Tony Garcia. Gary is the CEO of Great LLC, a career coaching services and veteran advocate, and Tony is a U.S. Army veteran and a Phoenix Tampa Bay member. His mission is to spread hope and the ability to get sober for anyone, especially those who have served. So we're going to start today with speaking with Gary. So Gary, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here. Thanks for the invite. And like I said, it's a privilege to be here.
Well, thank you.
So a little bit about me is I'm a CEO. I'm a career coach. And also for the last 7 years, I've been doing facilitating workshops for the military that are getting out to start their civilian careers. I've done over close to 400 workshops impacting about 5,000 vets, helping them prepare for their next journey as a civilian. So I'm happy to share some of those experiences and maybe throw some tips to some of you that are military or out of the military that may be looking for a different career path.
Yeah, this is great. And as you know, we need this. I mean, whether we got out 10 years or about to get out. I know that our veterans, we really need this type of energy and support because we all have different circumstances. So tell us a little bit about what prompted you to start this work.
Well, I hate to define my age, but I'm a 70-year-old military brat. I didn't serve or wear the uniform when my dad did. He was in the Air Force for 23 years, and I'm very proud of that service. I was with him through that service. I walked with him through that service. The only difference is I didn't wear the uniform. Mm-hmm. So this is an opportunity for me to give back, to be in the military environment, to be around those that have served. And those are the best days of the week for me. And even though I didn't wear the uniform, I'm in essence wearing the uniform now, serving those who've served our great country.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Gary. You're absolutely right. There's so much sacrifice that our military dependents give. And I want to acknowledge you for that because it's not easy. So tell us, who do you have here? You have a special guest, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm so glad he was able to join me. Actually, this is Staff Sergeant Jonah Chalk. Okay. He's a Marine. He's been in my class this week. And again, as I said, he's been going through the class as part of his transition, preparing for his separation, and when he enters, in essence, a whole different path. And so I wanted him to come with me and maybe just share in his own words what it's been like to go through this week as he prepares for his civilian career.
I love that. So, yeah. Let's do it.
Sergeant Chalk, how long have you been in the military?
I've been in the United States Marine Corps for 8 years. I'll be at 9 years when I EAS.
And you're an infantry leader, right?
Yes, I'm an infantry unit leader.
And according to my notes, you're also a sniper?
Yes, I've been a scout sniper for 4 years now.
And how many times have you deployed?
3 times.
So he's a very distinguished Marine. And I was so proud of what his work has been. And, again, he's starting to begin his next journey. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask him before I ask him my own?
Yes, I do. What prompted you to go with Gary versus the military's program?
Gary is part of the Marine Corps program that they have here on Camp Pendleton. So I was just lucky enough to be put into his class to be able to learn from him. There's multiple instructors that they have here, but Gary's done a great job this whole week teaching all of us everything that has to do with his course.
So we've been at it for 3 days, 8 hours a day, A to Z. We've worked on his resume. We worked on how to do a professional introduction, So we've try to cover every aspect of what it takes to have a successful career.
Wow, that's really great. So how long is the entire program?
Well, Sergeant Chalk has been here all week, but I've been here 3 days. And so it's a 3-day program. He's had some other things he's gone through and as far as preparation, working on a budget, looking at other transition responsibilities he has. So it's a whole week that he goes through. And I kind of joke with him, it takes more to get out than it does to get in. You have to go through so many different steps as you transition out, but he's doing a great job in that.
That's awesome.
So I wanted to ask him, and I'm going to put him on the spot.
Okay, let's do that.
So tell me, Sergeant Shaw, how do you feel? Do you feel prepared to market yourself in the civilian world?
Yeah. So before I did the course, I didn't feel as prepared as I do now. Definitely the help with the resume writing and learning how to make a cover letter to actually present myself to companies. When you don't do a lot of face-to-face interaction anymore, most of it is just, you sending out your information and then hoping to get a call back. So being able to really refine my resume and my cover letter to make myself look better to those employers definitely helped me a lot. And now I feel much more better about going into the civilian workforce.
So we're on the last phase. We got about an hour left before the class is over on Friday. Right now we're in the midst of mock interviews. And so I want to ask him, you think you're ready for that interview?
Yes, sir. I do believe that I'm ready for the interview. We've practiced a lot this week on how to present ourselves and how to answer questions appropriately. And I feel very ready for my interviews.
So again, another trick question here. What's the number one thing you got to do in that interview?
Smile. Something that I haven't been working on. I need to work on. Smile, present myself, and be the best person I can be that day.
Yeah, it's all about your presentation, right? When you enter that room, you don't know anybody. They're going to start making a decision. Are you a good fit? Will you fit into our organization? Will you get the job done? Your presentation and how you present yourself, facial expressions goes a long way in telling your story. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
So as well as the interviewing part of it, has anything been a surprise to you? You think you're ready for the civilian culture?
Yes, I do believe that I'm ready for the civilian culture. The only surprise that I've had so far is just a different level of professionalism from civilian forces, or not forces, from civilian employers.
So we got some questions here we want to speak to that are coming in our chat box. The question is, what job are most transitioning people looking for? Well, depends on whether you have a degree or not a degree as a veteran. So if you don't have a degree and you're transitioning out, it would be a security guard or a truck driver. Now, you might think a truck driver. I'm telling you, those are good careers, and a lot of the truck drivers are retiring. The logistics and the transportation system has gotten very much attention, and so they're in need of good, experienced truck drivers. And they pay is really, you'd be surprised, is very good. If you have a degree, it's business development manager or a IT programmer. And a lot of the veterans that are going through, that are getting out, have that type of background. For those that, and they also have a degree. And so those would be, two main categories. Now, Sergeant Chalk is going into another big area, or he desires to go into another big area that's in need of a lot of veteran type individuals, and that is
firefighting or working for a sheriff's department. Firefighting being my number one choice.
So again, law enforcement, those areas, as you probably read or hear on TV, I mean, there's a lot of openings. A lot of the law enforcement, sheriff's departments, highway patrol, they're even paying bonuses for people to really sign up and be in their training program and become a legal enforcement officer. So it's another good career path for veterans, especially to pursue and have another rewarding career as well.
So, Gary, if I can ask him a question, Chuck, how did you feel before taking Gary's training? And second part of the question is, do you think that you would have had the same outcome had you not taken Gary's training?
I definitely felt more nervous and not as prepared prior to taking Gary's training. Now, following Gary's training, I feel like I have more tools in my toolbox to be able to accomplish the goals that I have set forward. But yes, his course is definitely going to help me be successful. If that's kind of, that was the question that you're pretty much asking, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. And we have a comment from LinkedIn, coming in from LinkedIn. It says, "Way to go! We need good firefighters." That's absolutely true. I actually, one of my brother-in-laws is in the field, and I know that there's a lot of room for growth. So I wish you the best. I think that you're in good hands, and if you had to give any veterans or any active duty members who are about to exit the military any advice, what advice would that be, Sergeant Chalk?
Sorry, it's Staff Sergeant Chalk, but the biggest advice I would give anyone is just don't quit on yourself if you're trying to achieve a goal, and to keep pushing forward. And you're going to get a lot of no's, but you only need one yes to be able to change your life and to be able to pursue the career that you actually want. So if you email 20 people, if you call 100 people, just keep trying, and then eventually someone will call you back and say yes, and then you'll start getting the offers. And absolutely start as early as possible. Even if they tell you no because they're not looking for anyone right now, they'll have your information on file, and then when you call back again, they'll remember you. So just put yourself out there as much as you can, be as professional, as courteous as you can, and don't give up on the thing that you're trying to get.
Great advice. Gary, any more last comments, any more things people should know?
The thing I say, if I had a choice of who I hired to be a veteran, they have more skills. Just think about this. They have a lot of transferable skills that they have developed as a result of their military experience. Some of the biggest ones are reliability, ethics, getting the job done, reliability, being able to make critical decisions, being able to communicate effectively and interact and develop a team atmosphere. Those are skill sets, believe it or not, are in demand. And so I'm take every opportunity that I can to really promote hiring of veterans. And because I think they can become some of your best employees. I know they can.
Oh, I know that too. Gary, so where can people find you? And is your program available in every military installation? Yeah,
they can find me if they go to GaryRoman.com. That's Gary, ROHMANN.com. They send me an email there, and I'll reach out to you. We'll have a free consultation call and discuss some options. Yeah, or call me direct, 865-803-7404.
And are you on social media?
I am. You can find me on LinkedIn, just Gary Roman, and along with about 3,400 connections I have with veterans. So we'd love to see you connect.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, any last tidbits of advice that you think that people should know about? Because one of the things that comes up is this is free to veterans, right? Because
yes,
it's a contract with the military. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every veteran, before they transition out, are provided these services at no cost to them.
Yeah. And that's important to know because, as we get out of the military, finances are something that we worry about because we're so used to having that stability in the military, that paycheck we know is coming all the time. And so civilian world can be intimidating, but we're going to do, especially when you're in the hands of somebody like Gary, you're going to be just fine. And I just want to mention that Gary is actually a delegate of the Veterans Chamber. So thank you so much for your time, dedicating your time to us.
Thank you so much.
So, yes.
Sergeant Shaw, good luck to you. I know you're going to do great.
I
appreciate you're allowing him to be part of the program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Staff Sergeant. The best wishes to you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks. And Gary, so that's the time that we have, and we're going to bring over our second guest today, Tony Garcia. Tony, welcome to the show. Hi, Tony. How's it going?
Hey, Dali. It's going great. How about yourself?
Doing well. I'm so excited to speak to you. I was reading your website and I find what you're doing so inspirational. Can you tell us a little bit about your military service and how you ended up becoming a member of the Phoenix Tampa Bay member?
Sure. So, yeah, I served 15 years in the U.S. Army. And during that time,
Cool.
I airborne. During my time in service, I struggled with alcohol addiction, and I actually ended up going into treatment for depression, anxiety, and alcohol addiction. And when I came out of treatment during the outpatient portion of it, I was introduced to an organization called the Phoenix. And typically, when people come out of treatment, you go to your AA meetings, your NA meetings. But I found that this one was really interesting. A young lady came and talked about the Phoenix, and she had a 4th Infantry Division tattoo on her arm. So right away, I identified that she was a veteran as well. And we started talking, and she talked about what the Phoenix was, being a sober, active community, and that they provided free yoga to anybody that was 48 hours sober. And I had done yoga while I was in treatment, so I went ahead and checked it out, and I fell in love with the program immediately.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that you mentioned the yoga because I find that a lot of military members are kind of like, ooh, yoga. No, that's not for me, especially for guys, because, you guys can be like, oh, no, I need something like CrossFit, something hard. Tell us about that. What was your first impression when you did it?
So my first impression with doing yoga was I fell in love with it right away because because of the things that I had been dealing with. I was using alcohol to self-medicate because I just had so many things going on in my head, and alcohol was a way to kind of quiet that noise and kind of numb my feelings. And when I didn't have alcohol, I found yoga to be very therapeutic because I was able to focus, control my breathing, and learn that those stretches and those breathing exercises were a great way to kind of calm down the anxiety that I was experiencing.
Yeah. Wow. So then was this program something that the military brought in to you, or you just happened to just find it?
So it was brought in by the treatment center. They had someone come and speak from them, just something that they regularly did. And the Phoenix is not veteran specific or military specific. It's open to anybody that's 48 hours sober, and it is 100% free. But I've used it, it's my passion to serve others, especially those in the military. Those are those that came out of the military, because I know what we're going through. And the latest statistic, is 22 veterans a day are committing suicide. And if you look further into that information, 50% of those are under the influence when that happens. So I feel like if we can get folks sober, maybe, we can lessen that statistic. So
yeah. So before you associated with the Phoenix, did you try the military's mental health services?
I did, yes. I went through, I was on an Air Force base, so I went through the Air Force's version of ASAP, which is called ADAPT, Alcohol, Drug, and Prevention Treatment. I went through that program. They referred me to AA. I mean, while those programs were helpful, and not to ever say that, that they're not effective, it just didn't quite catch on for me. What really helped for me when becoming a Phoenix member was that community. And a lot of people don't realize how important community is, especially if you're in the military. You may not think about it while you're in, but those veterans that get out definitely know what I'm talking about when you lose that sense of community. And being a Phoenix member was so helpful because I had that community of people that were, going, through treatment or in recovery from addiction. And they just wanted to be there just to love on me and help me stay sober. And just finding that was super helpful compared to what I had done in the past.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So walk us through the beginning stages. What can people expect? Is it like a certain program? Because, like NA or AA has a certain program of how many days, and then you hit one milestone and then you do the next one. So is it similar to that? What does it look like?
It is completely different than any other program I've experienced. So the only requirement, like I mentioned earlier, is 48 hours of sobriety. And for us, there's no like honor system or chip system where you track your days or anything like that. For us, it doesn't matter how many times, God forbid, if you happen to relapse, you're always welcome back, and there's no shame. And if you go to the phoenix.org, I don't remember the numbers at the top of my head, but on the phoenix.org, it gives those statistics, how effective it is that Phoenix members feel that they can come back no matter what, that they feel that they don't feel that stigma, they don't feel that shame of coming back, they feel welcomed, and it's been helping folks stay sober. So all you got to do is be sober 2 days, and you can come, and we have tons of activities, everything from yoga to CrossFit, stand-up paddleboarding, book clubs. If physical activities aren't something for you, poetry nights. The sky's the limit. And if you go on the website or download the app, the Phoenix app, if you go to the Google Store or Apple Store, you see the little logo like you see here on my polo. You can fire up that app and see Phoenix activities wherever you're at in the United States.
That's amazing. That's actually very different than what I've ever heard. I like that, the paddle boarding, and all kinds of other things, because I think that part of the issue with people trying to seek out help with some of these organizations, they might feel a little like boring and too much into a box, and this one's way outside of the box. It's like more fun. It doesn't feel like you're in some type of rehab if you're engaging in activities like that. So I'm sure that has a lot to do with the mindset. That's amazing. And I also see that there's volunteer opportunities. It's listed on the website, and you have, there's even a blog, right, with resources.
Absolutely. Yeah. Volunteering is one of our biggest things. And for me, that was super helpful in my early recovery, because I used volunteering as it helped me multiple ways. One, it provided me that sense of helping others and just that warm, fuzzy, happy feeling that I was doing good in the community. But then also it gave me another sense of accountability, because not only was when I'm thinking about my recovery, not only how does that affect me or my family, but how does that affect others, right? Let's say I'm leading a paddleboarding event, and if I relapse, then I'm not able to participate in the Phoenix, for another 48 hours. If I don't show up to lead that event, what happens to those people that signed up? Do they stay sober? Do they say, forget it and go to a bar because I didn't show up? So I always had that in the back of my head. So I always encourage others, if you want to volunteer, there's so many opportunities. And it's not just things that we already do. If you have a passion for something, there's a guarantee, most likely there's other people that have a passion for that activity or thing as well. And then that way you're able to reach more people and show them that community and show them that sobriety is possible and that it's fun.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's very positive, even if you have a relapse, that the community is still there, and it feels like there's no shaming into come back and you got to do it again. It's more of a loving approach. And like a comment from LinkedIn, it says, I like the community approach. And that's, I think, key in any type of recovery. So what are some of the misconceptions that you think people might have about the Phoenix, so we can debunk them and get people to check it out?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is people think of, more, I guess, traditional recovery programs where, they're going to have to maybe, take a sobriety test, or people are going to find out, a lot of people don't want others to know they're in recovery. No one's going to ask any questions. You're not required to share any information that you don't want. It's just 100% just come out and have fun, because we also have people that aren't in recovery that participate with us. And we found that super helpful, because it helps break down that stigma. And that's our biggest goal. And I've spoke with people who've never used or drank, and that prior to participating in the Phoenix, their perception was that people in recovery or people in addiction are just bad people who made bad choices or don't have self-control. And they learn like, hey, it's just people that have experienced trauma, and this is just the way that they learned, or the only way they knew how to deal with that. So I'd say the biggest thing to, to clear up for people is there's nothing to worry about. No one's going to put your information out there. It's just all fun, and you're, free to come out whenever you want with your family, with your friends. Everybody's welcome as long as they're 48 hours sober.
That's amazing. So I know that you have the in-person events. Now, is this available in every state, or is it just the virtual stuff that's available?
So we have it, gosh, and I haven't looked at the numbers lately, but again, if you go to the website, it has up-to-date info. But we're in the majority of the states across the country, tons of communities and cities where you could do in-person programming. But we also have virtual programming where there's a different event about every 2 hours of every day of the week. Everything from, from CrossFit and yoga, that you could do online with people. We also have, gosh, I can't think of the words, like motivational speaker series, things like that, that you could do online. And we also have pre-recorded events. So if you want to just, let's say it's 2 a.m. and you can't go to sleep, you can go to one of our pre-recorded meditation sessions or a nice, easy yoga flow, whatever the case is. Or if you want to do a workout, you could do that at any time of the day.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good. I'm actually on the website. There's boxing, camping, CrossFit, basketball, functional. PHX was Phoenix function. I don't know what that is, but high intensive interval training, hiking. So I love the options, biking, even music. I wouldn't think in like a sobriety program that music would be one of those things, or road biking and all that. So it sounds amazing. I want to thank you so much for sharing about this. And for also, I want to congratulate you for giving yourself that love that you deserve, because that's part of self-love, right? Like just making sure that you are taking care of yourself, that you're staying away from whatever doesn't serve you, and also for dedicating the free time that you have to share this message with others and to be a testament that this program could be the right program for others listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dali. That's my mission, just to help folks out. There's tons of ways out there to stay sober, and the Phoenix is just one of the many. And I apologize. My screen just died right now, so I can't see. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we can see you. No worries.
Okay, good.
Usually I'm the one with tech issues. But,
right? Oh my God.
Well, any last words before we go?
No, other than if you're struggling with addiction, please don't feel embarrassed. Don't hesitate to seek help. I struggled with that for so many years, and it was just miserable. And I'd hate to see anyone else have to go through that. Just, speak to someone, whether it's coming to the Phoenix or just talking to a loved one, or just seeking help through the services that are afforded through us, whether you're active duty or veteran. Take advantage of them, and sobriety is possible, and it can be fun, despite,
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I just want to repeat that website. It's thephoenix.org. And there's a lot of activities, and I see that they have a link for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. So take advantage. Thanks once again, Tony. Stick around. We're going to bring in Joe, our founder, here in a minute. He's about to come in, and he's going to have some words for us. Because if we didn't have Joe, there wouldn't be a show, and we're very grateful to him. So, Joe, are you coming in? Hi, Joe. How are you?
Thank you, Dali. I'm doing well. And congratulations on the show. Great guest today. And also congratulations, Tony, on what you're doing. And I think it's amazing what you guys do. And those are the kind of organizations that the National Veterans Chamber likes to collaborate with and help support our memberships on both organizations. So anything that we can do to support and to partner with us, there's since Phoenix is a veteran serving organization, there is no cost to participate with us, and so that way we can help promote, we can help get involved, all those things that are great. Are you also one of the areas focusing on family-related issues or family groups or faith-based groups that you know
No, not necessarily faith-based groups, but family members are welcomed. We invite anyone because we know recovery is not done alone.
Right.
Like I mentioned, the community aspect, not just community, but friends and family, loved ones. So anyone's welcome to participate, not just military, not just people in recovery. It's open to everyone.
Well, thank you, Tony. And again, happy to collaborate with you or people in your organization. So we'll follow up in a separate call.
Yes,
But
sir.
so thank you, Dali, for letting me come in and say a few words and thank our guests. So back to you, Dali.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joe. And again, Tony, I want to thank you for your time. And we also want to thank Gary for your time to share the information that you have here that will serve our community. Again, we're here, the radio show for you. The replays will be available. And to recap, we just had Gary Rahman, who is the CEO of Great LLC. He does work on career coaching services for veterans, and Tony Garcia, who is with the Phoenix Tampa Bay as a member. And his mission is to spread hope and the ability to get sober for anyone. And we're very thankful for your time. Everybody follow us, share this message, whether you're listening to the podcast, whether you're on YouTube, on LinkedIn, wherever you are. Thank you for the love, and we'll see you next time.